Hello everybody, Moltzman37 back here with another review, this time of the Deluxe X Rod Sword from lupinranger vs. patranger. This is the melee weapon that belongs to Lupin X slash Patron X, and it's honestly my favorite melee weapon in the series. I found myself loving how simple and yet cool it was. So yeah, we'll take a look at the box, then the rod sword itself. So we got a picture of Lupin and Patron X, and it shows you the two modes. It's sword mode for Lupin X, it's rod mode for Patron X. You got Patron X with the rod, Lupin X with the sword. I dropped a roll of paper towels. You got Lupin X and Patron X right there. Bottom is stuff I can't read, but on the back is everything you're going to do with this thing. So, taking a look at the sword rod here, I right now have it in sword mode. Excuse me as I move the things around. So here it is in its sword mode, and if you couldn't tell by the logo right here, this belongs to Lupin X. Done out in mostly blue, this dark blue plastic with some black plastic for the handle. This already comes with button cell batteries, so you don't need to worry about changing out the batteries. Just pull the tab and there you go. There's no on-off switch on this thing. You get the X going down the middle with black and orange paint. Some green for this part right here. You got some gold up here. Okay, that's going to have to be edited out. Yeah, it's got a nice look to it. You also get the silver and red handle, which will change up the modes. And when you... what's interesting is that he also uses this to control the X train, since his changer is his Zord as well. So when it's like this, with the X complete, this is like when he uses it to control the train. Now, to officially switch it into the mode, you pull it down and you'll actually get a changing sound effect. It says Kaito, showing the Lupin Ranger V, as you saw before. And in this mode, you'll get basic slashing sound effects. And you can rapid fire that if you want. To change it into rod mode, what you want to do is fold this down, and I'll actually get to a little bit more of this thing later, and you push the rod, or the handle here, upward. And it says K-Sots, showing the Patranger S. And here it is in rod mode, where it looks more like a Giite. Which is essentially, and you may have seen this in Shinkenger, it's essentially a rod with a hook a third of the way down, and what would happen is, it was basically used in feudal Japan. It would, and I actually have the Lupin sword right here to demonstrate, it would actually catch the opponent's blade, and then you can rip it out of their hand, and drop stuff from the vibration of you disarming someone. But in this mode, you get some bashing sound effects. And one thing I do not like about this blade, when it's in sword mode, thank you, is if you want to swing it around, and you kind of saw it, you cannot be too forceful with it. And he mostly uses this like a fencing sword, and fencing doesn't use that much force. But when you're, like, swinging it around, you'll eventually dislodge it. And I really wish that there was, like, a locking mechanism. Like, you hit a button, and it can, like, lock in that position. And so it won't move. Like, they definitely could have engineered something like that, but chose not to. Which I would have liked. Maybe there's a way to modify that. But I'm at a loss as to how. Now, you actually do get two special attacks. For the lupinranger finisher, you basically first you put the handle in the middle position. It'll say X time, and you'll get a charging sound effect. And then you pull it down. It'll count down from 3 to 0, and then you get the Itadaki X strike, and you cannot interrupt it while it's counting down, otherwise you'll cancel out the finisher. Now the rod mode's finisher, essentially you're going to pull up and down the handle 4 times. So this one's a bit more reluctant on you. And when you're charging it up, you get that standby sound. And there you would have the Ichigeki X Strike. So yeah, overall, I do like this weapon. It is one of my favorite. If you're picking between any of the 3 melee weapons from lupinranger, I highly recommend you buy this. It's fun, it's simple, and it can definitely suit your needs. I like it. Again, there may not be many of you that do like the melee weapons of the lupinrangers or the patrangers, but this one does its job pretty well. So yeah, I will see you guys later. Take care. Superior X.